live from Lamaji.tv. Hope everybody's having a good day. And today I have a special guest with us. This is Numi Bindin out of Brooklyn, New York. She is the founder and CEO of Project Formation. And she's going to be with us today to help us break down a couple of topics. One of them being a topic on relationships. And she is an expert in health and fitness. Her company is out of New York, but today we're going to switch it up and do something a little bit different. So she's going to help us get a woman's perspective on some things. So first of all, how are you, Numi?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for being with us. We truly appreciate it. So I want to talk to you about this clip that I ran across this clip from Madame Noires, which is like a popular blog site. And the clip was basically titled, do black men or men only celebrate our features on other nationalities? And it was a clip with about 4 or 5 black women in the panel. And I wanted to get your take on it. First of all, have you seen this clip?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. A few days back. Yeah.
Okay. And what was your overall assessment of the interview?
I thought it was actually pretty well done. It had different women on there with different or various different ideas of what that is. But it did seem that every woman on the panel came to the agreement of like, yes, as soon as one of the panelists had mentioned, I think the question raised was, do black men celebrate black women's features or not? Okay, and at first everyone was like, and then one of the panelists quickly responded, yes, they do when it's not on a black woman. So, and it seemed like it became like a resonated agreement between all the women that were on the panel. And then as I was looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, that's actually kind of true. But, you have the Kim K's, and you have the Kylie Jenners, and now you see the plastic surgery is number one thing to get butt injections, or get lip injections, or to do the tanning, and the boxer braids.
Right. The Kylie Jenner braids. Right.
You do sometimes black men dating, outside their race, they tend to date women that have the similar features as black women would have.
Right. So my first question to you then, or my follow-up question to you would be then, what makes you think that men of color want to, or why do you think that the epidemic is going on where they want to date women from other races who have these features, so to speak? Where do you think that comes from?
I think that's done back since slavery days, right? There was always this resounding, you want to date someone lighter, you want to be with the white woman, one of those full fog type
forbidden fruit.
I also do believe that, that's a level of what exotic looks like, or exotic,
Yeah.
So I think that there's something where, and it's something I'm not quite an expert at, but it's something that is resounding in, especially in America, Black America.
Some sort of like, I don't know where that programming is coming from, but it's almost like, let me ask you this. What do you think about the social media perception of black beauty? Like, one of the quotes from the beginning of the video was from the New York Times that says that the conception of beauty is shaped by social media or the public domain. right? So, what do you think the social media perception of black beauty is?
Well, let me say number one, media shapes, you know, everyone's perception. Not just black folks' perception, but media is probably one of the strongest influences that we have. And now that social media is something that connects everyone globally, that you tend to see that there's this beauty standard that is tends to be a little bit similar now between cultures, where before it was a lot more different. Okay, um, the black beauty. I mean, that's something that what I would define it as just something to be proud of, be your blackness, be proud of, you're beautiful. A lot of times the media, especially in the past, still today, but not as strong as in the past, would always portray black as ugly, as negative, as dark, as
Dirty.
just being something that isn't great.
Right.
And so black beauty was a term, to go ahead and, I guess, negate some of those past stereotypes of what black is, what blackness is, what black beautiful is.
Right.
I think that even, I see our little girls nowadays, they, need someone to aspire to. So they want to be beautiful. Everyone wants to be beautiful. Everyone wants to be beautiful. That's just across the board.
Right.
And so by saying, blackness is not that, that's where the black beauty came from, was just trying to, diminish some of those old, not old, I guess current still stereotypes of black beauty.
Right, right. So do you think that, I guess, like when you see like People magazine or something, they got top 50 beautiful people in the world, and it's just a bunch of, white women, Julia Roberts and Jennifer Aniston's and stuff. Like, there's like I guess a representation or a misrepresentation or a lack of representation of black women in the media and portrayed out throughout the world as, these are the ones that exist, and I feel like they just put up only one type of woman to be like, this is the queen, or this is the woman that everyone should aspire to be. This is beautiful. But then it's like, who's making the magazine? Who's judging? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of ridiculous. So I wanted to ask you something. Like, let's see. One thing I noticed, right? One thing I noticed in this video, which is unfortunate, and um, these women, their ages range from, I want to say, early 20s to 30-ish plus. And one thing I noticed is not one of the women in the video was in a relationship. None of them were married. None of them had a fiance. None of them had a boyfriend or anything. They were all single women. And I feel like there's this trend, or there's this, I don't know, I guess this cloud going on that, a lot of black women are single and can't find any men or good men. And I wanted to get your take on that. And, And why is it that it's hard for black women to find single men? I'm looking at these women; they all look pretty good looking. None of them look bad looking at all. So it's like, what is the deal with, women not being able to find or get in a relationship? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's several questions in one. But what I would say, I do believe that a lot of times educated black women get married a little bit later in life compared to their counterparts. They don't get married as early. And that maybe could be something sometimes when, a lot of black men are in jail, you're looking for a black male that is maybe on the same education level or around that area to be with. And the second part is that a lot of black women do not date outside their race as well. So they will, of course, they have, they can date Tom or Dave or,
You're right,
to make
right.
her hairy.
Jim or
But
Peter or
a lot of
Brett.
times they're going to wait for their, so-called black king to
Right,
come save them, right? And
right.
I think that's something that's noteworthy to look at. Is a lot of times black men do not feel comfortable being outside the race, as maybe black males, for them, a lot of times not as much of an issue. So yeah.
Interesting. You know, I feel like that is really the case. You know, you guys kind of staying home on some certain things, and like even like just you can just see the climate of how like I think there was this something that came out that a lot more black women are.
And also, on top of that, a lot of times we're not here for that. Like sometimes people will, I've had girlfriends that date with guys for different several reasons, and a lot of times black women don't put up with as much, uh, foolery, I guess.
Yeah, the BS
Yeah,
or the
yeah. Some people
talking
are
a
not.
certain way and
I'm gonna look this way. I didn't see it, But I think
mm-hmm.
there's several lead reasons why. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, it's fine. They would like sometimes men want women that they can walk all over, men that they can, you know what I'm saying, or they want a woman that they can walk all over, boss around, and
Yeah,
you
and
know,
that's fine for some people. They're comfortable with that.
right. That's interesting. So, to add on to my point, what point I was trying to make is with black women, I wanted to say that you know not to forget that 93% of them did not vote for Trump. And and on top of that, I think it was reported that black women now have the most education out of any group in America. So
Right.
when you kind of put those two things together, it's like, yeah, that kind of makes sense because
Right.
you idiots voted for Trump. And I mean, it's crazy. Like, I'm not against people dating. You date who you want to date, but it's like, you might be dating a Trump supporter. And I mean, my whole thing my whole thing coming up was like, it's not like I don't think white women look decent or whatever. It's not really my type. But the thing is like, I just don't think most of them understand certain cultural problems. They don't understand like they don't have like a culture. A lot of them, so they don't understand our culture as far as African culture or black, culture in America coming up as a black male or a black woman. There's just certain things that they just don't understand. So it's like, yo, there's just too much that you got to know, and so it's not even worth my time to even bother with you because you're just not gonna get it. But that's interesting, because it's like if they're so good, I mean, they put this idiot in office. But
Right. I also
oh,
think, but on top of that, I think that the, we, and maybe that it could be an intimidation factor. Sometimes, being too strong
oh, you
becomes
too
a
strong now. You
problem.
too independent now.
Too independent.
You trying to wear the pants. You trying to be the man around here. That's how it
Right.
goes.
So I think it sometimes for a lot of black females, they would prefer an alpha male.
Sure.
Of course, and that sometimes isn't always available to everyone.
Hard to find, right? And I mean, in the society that we grow in, I mean, you got a lot of guys who are timid. I mean, look at the NFL. Like, you know, we're the strong, athletic, yet you've got 30 men who own these teams have 1,500 plus men intimidated by just taking a knee. You see, so many of them are intimidated just to take a stand. So I don't know. It's like coming up in society, I guess, with Willie Lynch and mass incarceration and taking black fathers out the home and all of those things. It's like a lot of black men are just afraid and just timid, and unfortunately, it was orchestrated that way for it to happen like that. But even still, it's like, come on, you have all the power. You have all the power, and all you have to do is tap into your power. Yet you don't want to do that because you're afraid of what, I don't know. But you know, that's what happens when you destroy the mind. I want to ask you, speaking of um, not strong black men, but speaking of black men who don't have a lot of fear, I want to talk to you about catcalling and get your
Oh,
take on get your take on catcalling. I mean, with the a lot of women who are single, I would think that from what I see, a lot of guys, that's kind of like the way that they talk. And I want you to kind of break down this whole notion of catcalling. Like, is that something that, I mean, just to play devil's advocate here, is like, okay, if somebody catcalls you, right, and they're trying to talk to you, but you don't want to talk to them, so it's like, but you're single, so help me out on that. Help me break that down for me, and
all right. So
help me understand that.
catcalling is never okay.
Okay.
It's never okay. Really, I think it's a form of intimidation, to be honest.
Mm.
And the second thing, if that man is that serious, he's not going to yell to the girl that he wants to talk to. Hey, big booty girl, how you doing? Come talk to me, huh? That's not. Hey,
Right.
chocolate girl, come over here.
Right.
That's not a way to get a woman's attention. And I think deep down they know that.
Mm.
The woman knows you're not serious. That's not a way to. If you're that serious, you go to the woman, speak to her kindly, nicely, introduce yourself, like, hi, how are you doing? I know it's really nice today.
Mm.
And carry conversation,
Right.
But yelling across the street with 15 other guys is really kind of cowardly if you think about it.
Right.
You're not serious. And that's not someone you want to date anyway.
Right.
And it also would those men who I think participate in that, I want to ask a further question, like, if you want your daughter or your sister or your mother to be spoken to like that,
Exactly.
and you're gonna say no because there's something wrong with it.
Mm. Wow, that's interesting. So I'm thinking here. Okay, so a lot of black men tend to date outside of their race, right? And there's this notion that out of all the men in the world, I'm not trying to like brag or anything, but all the men in the world, they date outside of their race out of any other demographic. But at the same time, you have to look at it, it takes two. So
Right.
would that also mean that most women, they want to date black men? And, whatever, if they're Asian or uh, Hispanic, black women, white women, they all want to date black men. Heck, white men are even obsessed with black men. And, could that perhaps be partially why, since black men feel like, okay, everybody wants me, everybody want, popular in entertainment, popular in music, popular in sports. It's like, heck, you got all these women to choose from. It's like, why not mess with Latina or something like that? I mean, what do you think about that? And just not just because I don't know if it's just black men are just like, I mean, I know there is some. I've heard them and they sound dumb, but I heard some. I don't date black women. I date only white women. Or I only like white girls or something. Some guys are like that. But what do you think about the notion of just some guys like they're just whoever just likes me, I like them, and it's like,
Yeah. And that's a good point. There's a lot of it's your environment. It's who's coming to you. Maybe it's easier on some level. Maybe outside of the race, I don't know how that would make it easier, but maybe it is. I don't know. So that is something to definitely think about and to ponder. I don't have the answer for that.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I'm thinking, and it's like, I'm not just saying that's the case. That okay, every woman
I think
wants black men.
there's several.
There are definitely black men who go out their way to date outside their race. That's for sure. They go outside their race to date other women who don't look like them or look like their mom. That's a fact. But at the same time, it's like,
Also, I also don't think it's as high as people tend to see. I do think that it's more, you notice it more. Like if I have,
Yeah.
I said I did 10 black men, I did one white guy, people remember the one white guy. You know what I
True.
mean? So
Very
you
true.
see, you see LeBron and his wife, and that was, people don't speak about that. That's a great family right there. People
Right.
more speak about like an Odom being a Kardashian, or
Mm.
it's more. I think it's more highlighted when there are more interracial type of situations. I would say out of anyone, black men do marry black women the most in the sense they actually do date interrace the most, but
Mm.
also they do have, let's say there's 100%, say 70% of the time they'll do black women, maybe 30% of the time that type of thing. But
Mm.
it's definitely noteworthy, and I think people do notice it more.
Mm.
That's one part I think. I mean that's something definitely to ponder.
Interesting. That's interesting. So I wanted to, I guess, I kind of wanted to wrap this up here, and I wanted to just get a summary. I want you to summarize for me, like, what does it, what exactly does it mean to be a black woman in America, and just from a beauty standpoint, and from an anxiety standpoint, like what goes through your mind as far as like keeping up with the Kardashians per se, like got to get the fed
Right.
latest fed tea. Like I try to stay up on what y'all be doing, but but
Opening, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, but no, but seriously, like what is that like, a daily life, a day in the life of you? What would that be like? What goes through your mind? Your anxiety, dealing with people, talking to people. What goes through your mind?
Well, that's a lot. You have to be stronger, you have to be faster, you have to be witty, but not too witty. You have to be smart, but not too smart. You got to be less intimidating. Don't be angry. If I have an opinion, you become angry. If I say something and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. Why are you mad? I wasn't mad. I just said I didn't like that. You have
Right.
to mind you have to make other people comfortable for them to be able to work with you. You
Mm.
have to understand how to be less intimidating. Don't be too black,
Don't be too
but black
black.
enough. So it's definitely resilient. It's a lot of work.
It is. And you think?
I would
Do you think? Not to cut you off, but do you think that influences the choices that black women make as far as beauty, like the blonde hair or the, you know, I really don't want to go there, but you know what I mean. Like, do
I
you think
think
that's what, since all those in social anxieties, it's like, okay, let me go ahead and get these bundles real quick, and let me go ahead and fix these edges, and let me just, I mean, what
I
is,
was just
yeah, like, I
right.
mean, do you think that's what
That's part of it.
influences
But
it?
also, you gotta realize hair is an art form for black women. If you notice,
Yeah,
we change our hair often.
yeah, it's
You
amazing.
know, that's just, I think, part of the culture.
Right,
If I
right,
have whether I'm natural, or I
yeah,
have, a weave down to my butt, or if I have,
right,
a short haircut, or if I have braids, or whatever.
right,
That's just being a woman. We like to change our hair quite. So
right,
I think that sometimes people think that we're trying to assimilate,
right.
and it's like, not really, because you notice that Monday my hair was like this, and next week it's something different.
Yeah,
You know,
so you're not trying to assimilate, because I'm doing what I want with how I look. Right,
hairstyle.
right, right.
I do. There was a time where the perm was in, creamy crack was in.
Mm.
I think now we're going toward more of a natural, like, hey, the natural hair movement kind of made your curlies good. Big hair is great.
Yeah.
Braids are coming back, I guess, in style. They were never out of style. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. But I think hair is it's definitely a form of it's an art form. It's what we like to do. I think that's just being a woman.
Right.
I don't think
Gotta
that's
look,
we're trying.
like to look good. What woman doesn't? I mean, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
assume, but
good.
women just like
Change
to
your
look
hair.
good. They like to look nice. Yeah. Right.
If you notice that a lot of times black women change their hair off. not the, that's just what it is.
And even when you guys change your hair a lot, it's like you got to think some of the things that you do with your hair, you'd rather just do it with some other hair instead of putting your hair through all that stress or certain things. So,
right. So, like, for example, let's say I want straight hair. I know good and well I cannot straighten my hair every day or I'll be bald. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's something you got to think about, like how to love protective styles. So people understand, like, oh, why is their hair like listen, I can't straighten my hair every 5 seconds, or I want to have it curly. So I think that people understand that because we do treat our hair often, we have to protect it. By protecting it, weaves and these other styles actually help protect our real hair.
Yeah,
as
right.
we say. So there's also other reasons behind that. So
interesting. Okay. Well, no, that's good. That's good. So that is all. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add in terms of this video? I mean, it was a pretty good video from what I had from what I saw, just to wrap up, and it's kind of eye-opening. I mean, there was a lady named Brandy in the video. She made the point of boys getting affirmations when they're younger. You really don't. You just kind of have to just be a man and just come up and and you got to learn fast, and basically like makes us think independent faster. So it's like, we're so immune to a lot of different things. We have to develop thick skin for a lot of different things, and we don't understand that a lot of women are emotional creatures, and we just think, oh, if I got money and I got this, I can kind of just approach any woman any way I want, talk to them any way I want, and we don't understand how women are wired differently to be attracted to a man for other reasons other than just being, stereotypical male, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I did see that, and it's funny. I actually had this conversation with a cab driver last night. But one of the things that he was asking me about some advice with XYZ, but in a sense, I think that sometimes men forget small things. You want to add value to that woman, right? So if she's telling you, I have this work on, this work on, this work on. Sometimes just listen to her. Oh, tell me more about that.
Right.
She'll love you forever. Or she says, man, the other day I actually came home from work, a long day of work, and I really sat on my couch. A friend of mine texted me, and I was like, oh, how's it going? He was in South Carolina for some work down there. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Say, well, what'd you eat today? I just got in. I don't know. I'm probably gonna order something. How about this? I'll order you something. What do you want? I was like, dang.
That goes a long way. Just the little gestures like that, right?
I was like, oh, hi, how are you? Maybe I can look at you a little bit differently.
Right, right.
Sometimes adding value, in a sense of it doesn't have to be you gotta go buy her, bundles and Louis Vuitton shoes.
Nice car, nice shoes.
Those help. Bloody shoes are very expensive.
Oh my God. Got them red bottoms, them bloody shoes. Get your Cardi B on.
Go ahead and but just adding strength in the sense of just listening to what she's working on and ask her about her aspirations and goals. And sometimes just listening and adding, whether you care or not care, you can pretend to care and whatever it is, and she, I think, will be more able to communicate more effectively with that male, vice versa. It can be a lot further that way too.
Very good. Very good sound advice. Okay, well, that is all I have for you today in regards to this topic. Truly appreciate you joining us, Nami. Tell everybody where to find you at on social media, and, tell everybody where to find you and as far as your website and stuff.
Great. Yes, my website or my company is projectformation.org. We do health and fitness campaigns as well as education campaigns as well. So we do a lot of anti-poverty work in the community, so you can definitely go to www.projectformation.org, or the Instagram is by the same name as well.
Awesome. Cool. All right, Nami, thank you for being with us, and that is all. This is Andile, guys, signing off from lamaja.tv, and we will see y'all next time. Peace. If you'd like, please check out our subscription website at lamaja.tv, where we'll be launching November 1st a lot of exclusive content only on lamacha.tv, and support the movement. New media. Peace.